So welcome to everybody to the Go Teams, kind of sneak peek into our 80-day obsession program that starts and launches here on January 15th. So excited for this program. How many of you, I know we've got some active challengers who've been part of this, how many of you have done any of what's called a Little Obsessed, which is kind of like the prequel to the 80-day obsession? Has anyone done that? If you could raise your hand, I'd love to see that. Jen has, Claire has, anybody else has? Awesome. So yeah, there we go. Melissa has, that's great. Yes, and some of you may need, if you don't have your video on, and that's totally cool, go ahead and type in the chat. There is a chat feature, just so you know, that's available within Zoom. So you might be new to this technology. There is a chance for you, so especially if you're embarrassed to talk, that's fine. Would love to hear a few of your impressions of A Little Obsessed. So let's, do we want to start with anybody in particular? Jen, what do you want? You want to give a quick first impression of A Little Obsessed, which again is this is like the half-hour version of our 80-day obsession. So go ahead.
Okay, so I love the program. Even just in the 30 minutes, I'm working up a sweat. I'm actually feeling the moves work, and then even after a few days, I'm finding that my muscle memory is getting better, but my goodness, I'm sore. So that means that these parts that I haven't been working, they are getting worked. It's a total body, full out workout. And I can tell that, once we get into this launch, it's going to be an incredible program. I'm highly impressed by it. I'm looking forward to the meal plan side of it. And I just really like how it's broke down so much for us that there's no questions asked. You're going to get a plan, you're going to do the workouts, and you're going to get killer results.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm loving it. I can't stop doing them, actually.
That's great.
I've done them. This is my third round, I think.
Well, good. So you're a little obsessed.
Definitely a little obsessed.
A little.
Yeah.
That's great. All right. Anybody else who has done it would be willing? Melissa, are you there? Can I unmute you? Melissa, are you good with that? No, it's okay. You want to just go ahead and talk to us?
Sure. For me, sorry, I have no video, so I have no idea why.
No worries.
So for whatever reason, I thought I couldn't talk either.
You totally can.
I have tried it. A couple, I've done a couple of the workouts. I've been kind of limited with having my injured arm.
Oh yeah, I forgot she had shoulder.
Yeah, it's totally my elbow. So I have to do a lot of modifying to the workouts. But the one thing I noticed is that even with the modifications, I'm hot, I'm sweaty, I'm achy, and I feel so good.
Yeah, that's great. So Sandy's already asking the question, guys. Do I need a lot of space to do the workouts? And Claire, do you want to answer that? Looks like you're already shaking your head. No. So go ahead and tell us.
Can you hear me?
Sure can.
Oh, good. No, you don't. I mean, even the skaters, you can take a couple steps and flip your leg out. And really, it's just like a little, 6x6 really. And did I freeze? Oh, anyway, no, I wanted to also mention what Jen mentioned, that I like how if you keep doing the workouts, your muscle memory, it gets better, and you can see yourself, you can envision yourself like lifting more weights the following week, or doing something, a little more just to challenge yourself after each, workout. So I like it a lot.
That's great. Yeah. And really what's happening on it is a couple things, particularly. So, and we'll get into this. We'll talk a little bit about the equipment that's needed, which is a little bit different than some other workouts, particularly as it relates to something like a 21-day fix. And we'll address that. So Anne's asking the question, how is it different from 21-day fix? Okay, so the initial phase, just so you can kind of understand the difference here, is that this is truly what's considered an intermediate to advanced program. Okay? If you're coming off the bench or coming off the couch and trying to do 80-day obsession, you're probably going to get frustrated pretty quickly because it's going to really work your heart rates at such a level that you won't feel successful. This doesn't mean that a beginner couldn't try to do it. So I was giving you an example from my own life. I did complete P90X from the couch. Okay, so I completed, which I would consider an advanced program. So I did that. However, the first 2 to 3 weeks were awful. I did not feel very good. I was very sore after the first couple weeks, and I am surprised that I actually stuck with it. I was just stubborn enough that said, oh yeah, P90X, you're so tough, I'm going to beat you. And I did that. So some of you maybe you could be in that situation where it's like, yeah, okay, maybe I've done a little bit and I'm ready to step up and to have a real challenge. Okay, because here's the thing. A lot of people, have you ever noticed this? The couch to 5K movement is really a great thing because I think a lot of people, they need like a goal from getting off the couch to get to a 5K. So that's only 3 miles. And again, if you've not run a quarter mile, 3 miles is a lot, right? But here's what a lot of people tend to do. The 5K for some reason isn't big enough for them. So they signed up in our area in Indianapolis. It's the Indy Mini Marathon. They have to set this big old audacious goal so they know that they're going to push themselves to maybe able to, kind of attain a bigger goal. And so that's what they do. They establish a bigger goal because then they know that they're going to have to either I'm going to have to commit or I'm going to die when I run this race, right? And I think sometimes a bigger goal like that, as long as you, of course, you want to check with your doctor. So I'm not going to say this cavalier either. Definitely want to check with your doctor. You want to be smart. You want to listen to your body during those things and make sure that you're doing it. But it is an intermediate to an advanced program. So we're just going to say that right now. The workout length, so a 21-day fixed workout is right at 30 minutes consistently. Now, the thing that makes it a little bit different, of course, the 80-day, there's two things. Obviously, the length of the workout is going to be longer, anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. Okay, so for some of you, they're like, what? Dude, no way. I can't do that. Can't fit that time in. Jen, let's hear your particular solution to this as we're heading into this. And we use a phrase a lot in our challenge groups. We use it. We say progress over perfect. And so, Jen, talk to us a little bit about that particular issue. How are you dealing with that when people are like literally going, no way, I don't have an hour. I can't work out that much. Go.
Okay, so I have 4 kids, guys, and I know that an hour seems like a super long time to work out, but this is what I've been telling the people that are really interested right now, is that whether you're a beginner, intermediate, advanced, if you don't have an hour, do what you can. Like Dan says, we are all the time teaching progress over perfect. So you don't have to nail that 60-minute workout right away. And even Autumn in the program, she even says, you don't have to be a hero on day 1. And I loved that. And that's what really made me think that these people that are coming in that really want this opportunity and to try this program out, why not just say, do what you can? If you can do 30 minutes, do 30 minutes. If you can do, 45, do 45, and then just progressively work up from there as as you see fit or as it fits your schedule. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but you definitely should give it a shot.
Yeah.
So that's
I think that's part of it's really, guys, establishing some form of routine as it relates to when you are working out. And then once that is established, you've got kind of like, I would call it a beachhead that says, okay, this is the time when I work out. This is when I do it. It's early morning, late afternoon, I don't know, however you, but it's like sacred time. It's an appointment you've made with yourself that you are not, it's a non-negotiable. It's not the question of if I'm going to work out, it's really a matter of when am I going to work out to get this done, right? So you start doing that, and once that hits, then you start to maybe adjust a little bit, then you can maybe go, well, you know what, I could do 35 today, I could do 45. And the other thing I would tell you is a little bit different than, say, the 21-day fixed workouts, is it's 6 days a week, okay? So check this out. Most people don't work a full 6 days in a week. They might work only they might work only 5 days. Okay. So one of the things I'm going to do, because I'm a teacher and I get up at generally at 4:45 every morning I do personal development, and then I do my workout. Okay. I get up early. That's just what I do. That's part of my routine. But what I'm planning on doing is, guys, I'm going to shift my normal way of doing things. So I'm going to have a half-hour day where I'm going to probably do my off day, or I might do a recovery, kind of like a very low impact yoga style workout for about a half hour on my recovery day on that day 7. Okay. And then that'll be during the week. And then so that minimally gives me, now I've only got 4 days that I've got to potentially work out for the 60 minutes during the week when I have to get up so early. You see how that works with me? So I'm shifting that day, which normally I love, my yoga on my Sundays, but I'm willing, guys, because I so believe in this program, and I think it's going to be so successful for me, is that I'm going to make that shift of my days just a bit. So I'm going to adjust that way. Okay. And then the last thing I would say, one of the really significant features of this, I think it's really going to appeal to people who maybe have had some gym classes experience in the past. So for those of you guys who have done the Little Obsessed, which is again the sampler, you kind of feel like you're in this little mini tribe of people, and that's how they sort of film it, that you're like kind of a participant in the class. And the cool thing is, it's 80 days of different workouts every day. So if any of you have done, so raise your hand if you've ever done a Beachbody workout like 21 Day Fix, if you've ever done a 21 Day Fix workout, okay? And particularly, guys, a lot of people have. In 21 Day Fix, there's 7. Now, granted, you get BOD and you get a few extras, but like the regular ones, there's about 7 workouts, right? And there's only so many times you can listen to Autumn say that same joke, right? Come on now, let's just all get real. 7 times. And they're great workouts, don't get me wrong. I do the 21 Day Fix Extreme a lot because I prefer that one, actually. But, it starts to get a little bit old. But here's the cool part. 80 days, new workout every day. So you're not like going, oh, I know what's coming. I know this exact thing. It keeps you on your toes. And so you're shifting, you're changing, and it's really, really great. So that's awesome. Nancy, I'm going to totally put you on the spot here. Would you be willing to talk a little bit about equipment for us? Like with what equipment would be required for the 80-day obsession, and what do we need, and how does that all work with these workouts?
Sure. So the 2 primary ones are the stretch bands, are the exercise bands, and the sliders. And I did not get the ones through Beachbody. I bought both of them through just a different brand through Amazon. But they're the same. So I've had to kind of adjust the colors and everything and kind of get used to which colors match her colors and everything. But they're smaller bands than what I had. I had the big bands, the wraparound. And I used those probably the first week, which was a little awkward, but it worked, I love the sliders just because they put more emphasis on the legs when you're using them. The bands, she really does warn a lot about how the bands will roll up on your legs, and I've experienced that, and it can be very frustrating. But now I started doing the 5 again this week, and I haven't had any problems with that. So, she just encourages you to keep at it because you will get used to how to position your legs and so forth so they don't roll up on you.
So when you say bands, Nancy, let's explain basically what is that? How is that? Like, I know resistance bands, like the ones that have the handles, like I think everybody knows those, the ones you do this stuff with. How are these different than those? What's the difference?
They're smaller round bands. They're a circle. And there's different.
Kind of like a rubber band, right? Like a giant rubber band is like sort of.
They're probably about that wide and probably about that long. And they're different strengths, I guess you would say. Like there's light, medium, heavy, and then I have an extra heavy and an extra light. So, and then she uses a lot where you wrap them around your thighs, your knees, or your feet, the sole of your feet. And she does a lot of doubling up, which is, helpful because you just get twice the strength. So But yeah, they're just little, probably about, I don't know, what would you say, 6 inches, maybe 12 inches long?
Oh yeah,
And
probably
purple.
that, yeah, depending. And then of course they expand to however long you're going.
Right.
Sure, that's great.
Right.
And you know what? And then of course, guys, in addition to that, dumbbells are required.
Right.
And you're going to need a decent variety of that. Everything I would estimate most people anywhere from 5, like if you're really new in it, 2.5s, but it's a minimally 5s up till maybe about 15s. So if you do like the Target or whatever, and if you wanted to get those ones that you can adjust and do like a 5s, 10s, 15s, that's a pretty good set to potentially get to start off. If you really want to start getting into some of the leg stuff, having 20s would be nice, I would say. And you hear her talk about 20s quite a bit when she's doing leg work. Now, generally, most the stuff when she's doing with her arms is generally not 20s. She's doing more like 10s and 15s, I would imagine, mostly for her arms stuff for ladies. And, guys can do a variety of that as well. And here's the funny thing is, this is what I've noticed as a guy. Sometimes there's that little bit of a guy ego thing that goes on. Not that guys ever do that. I have that guy moment where I'm like, oh, she's using 15s. Oh, I should use 20. I should be using 20s. And then I do those lunges, and then I'm like, oh my, I'm literally dying. I'm like, yep, I'm going back down to 15s. So that leg work, man, I'll tell you what, especially when you're doing those sliders and the repetitions and those lunges, it's like, I call them the vomit tracks. Because, man, sometimes just those 15s and 10s even after just those motions. So, okay, good. Well, thank you. I appreciate being on the spot there. Thanks, Nancy. Okay, so let's head over, guys, into so far so good. Any other questions about what we've mentioned so far? We're going to head into nutrition a bit here and maybe understand how that works maybe a little bit differently than other nutritional parts. Anybody other questions before we move on at this point? Good. Jen, I'm willing to put you on the spot here. I've actually got the screen of the blog post that Autumn put up, and I'll share that with everybody. Does that sound good?
Yep. Whatever you want to do.
Sounds good. So I'm going to do that real quick here. This is, I think this is it. Yes. Very good. Okay, so this is the 80-day Obsession Nutrition Plan explained. Okay. So, she talks, there's this gal who helped, Paige Benty, I think is her name, but she ended up talking helping setting up this meal plan, which is a little bit different than the 21-day fixed portion plan. So let's talk about maybe how some similarities happen, and what are some of the differences so far there, Jen, that you know of?
Okay, the similarities for, say, like 21-day fix compared to 80-day obsession?
Yeah.
Or portion fix? Okay, so the major difference is that this program is all about timed nutrition.
Yeah.
So basically, you're going to be eating food at a certain time every single day to get the maximum, I don't know what you want to call it, like, I guess just the maximum you can get out of your food to rebuild your muscle, give you the energy to keep you going, and to keep your body fully recovered so you can do, the next day's workout. Now, the similarities is going to be you're eating a lot of the same foods. You're eating, good fats like avocados. You're eating lean proteins, good fish, good chicken, stuff like that. Veggies, fruits, basically anything you've been eating in 21-day fix. If you've done anything like that or have done portion control with us, you're filling your containers the same way, but you're just going to be doing it in a different manner. And that part is what excites me, is because they're actually doing more of a macronutrient program to really give you the full out nutrition you're going to need. You're going to have a pre-workout meal. You're going to have an after workout meal, and then you're going to consistently fuel your body for the entire day, which is awesome. So there's also no cheat days, which, everybody loves a cheat day, but here we're doing this for a reason. We're doing this to really take care of our bodies and build a solid foundation to work towards the future. Once you build that solid foundation, you're going to want to eat healthier. You're going to want to stick with a good plan. And you're also going to get killer results. So I guess that's my take on it, Dan. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, no, so I think like these are some of the things that they talk particularly about. So
yes, the workout block is probably the most important.
Yes. So it's that post, when you get done with the workout, it's the importance of having a meal within, I believe it's 90 minutes of the workout, I believe is the time frame that they talk about, which I tend to do anyway. I've always done that.
Before, after, and throughout.
Yep. And then there's this thing which is interesting. So there's what we called a refeed day. So that refeed day is technically not a cheat day, but it's going to feel like a cheat day because you're going to up your carb intake on those days. And guys, really what this is doing is effectively, if you've heard some of the term, is a bit, okay, and this is a rough word using, so for them, you are very literal when it comes to this, but some carb cycling, okay, is what we're doing, is a little bit of like where we introduce carbs and then we pull away carbs. And what that does is, guys, it keeps your metabolism guessing a bit more, which honestly, especially if you've been frustrated or you felt like you've been plateauing, you need to eat differently, okay? You need to eat differently and have some variety to your caloric intake in order, and it's not always just about cutting. You guys hear that? Because it's not just about cut, because some of us are so far cut, you've plateaued yourself and you've eaten the same way because you've had the same breakfast and the same lunch and the same dinner-ish, and then you are super ravenously hungry. You know, you've been doing the same kind of thing. We need to have the variety into it. And I think that's what really helps. So that's what the refeed day is. And then towards the end of the program, they called what are called deplete days. And deplete days are the opposite, where you actually are lowering your carb intake, kind of like for some of you, maybe you've done Shift Shop, which is another one of our programs that last week where you tend to take away carbs. It's just kind of the same thing. And that will really lean you out that last week. And it'll be brutal, but it's I think really, really good. Okay.
And that is optional to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And then it's going to talk, things about when's the best time to work out. Again, so as Jen mentioned, there's going to be a need to be able to have ability to do some pre-workout stuff and then post-workout, which is a little bit different than in the past, which again, some of us, and here's what I would say before you write this off and you just go, no way, I can't do that. I do it this way and I've always done it this way. I would ask you, especially if you've been doing Beachbody for a while, I would ask you the same thing. Before you were doing Beachbody, you were probably doing it a different way as well, right? And so now change is maybe going to come along for 80 days. And how cool would it be to say, I conquered this beast? And I'm telling you guys, I'm just being real. You get done and you put in your results and you go beachbodychallenge.com, you send it out, and you send in your before and after pictures and that kind of thing, and you get that shirt, that 80-day shirt, I promise you, is going to feel a lot more significant than a 21-day shirt. Just being real. If you make it through 80 days and you complete that, not to say that 21 days isn't a great thing, but it's kind of like back to that 5K half mini thing, right? So completing your first 5K is fantastic. So glad you have that 21-day fixed shirt. You absolutely should celebrate. That's fantastic. But I promise you, you do that half mini and you earn that, starts to get like your legs start to be really proud of that shirt, right? You wear that thing around with a little bit more swagger. And so 80-day obsession, you'd be like, yep, conquered it, did it, right? And I just want to really encourage you, if you're doubting right now your ability to do it, it's probably because it's something that's pushed you past your comfort zone. In the senses, guys, it's 80 days. It's not for the rest of your life. You're going to work out for an hour, okay? And again, adjust your schedule. Maybe like I'm doing, so it's only 4 days during your work week that you have to get up a little bit earlier, okay? Yeah, you may have to get up 15, 20, 25 minutes earlier, okay, in order to get it in. But that's the thing. And I would just really encourage you to give it a shot, try to complete a whole program. Don't just dabble. The challenge about Beachbody On Demand too is, guys, there's so many different workouts. You can go, well, I'm just going to do 10 minutes today. I'm going to, you know, flip over between these different programs. But man, to actually do a whole program for 80 days, like when it comes to this, and to do it solidly with a tribe of people that are going to be pushing through, which is going to be the unique thing about our group. So I want to get into talking a little bit about the way our group is going to work. It's maybe a little bit different in our past groups, because obviously this is an 80-day thing, and that's going to look different than we've done it in the past, particularly for some of us who are coaches, and we've been kind of in and out of 21-daysers all the time. So I'd like to talk a little bit about that. Before we move on, I'm going to ask for any questions. I'm going to stop the share real quick. I did actually want to watch a real quick portion, though, before we get into more questions. So, are there any questions? And then I'm going to show a real quick portion of a video. This can last about another 10 minutes longer, guys, just so you know, so you can kind of get your timing on this. All right, looks like we don't have any. So I'm going to do a quick share one more time. Back to here. I wanted to go here. Are you ready? Here we go. This is the 80-day obsession. I wanted to watch a bit of the video so you can get an idea for a moment.
It's time to get obsessed. Welcome to the biggest innovation since the launch of Beachbody On Demand. 80-Day Obsession. This one-of-a-kind program is 80 days of obsessive focus on fitness and nutrition. Developed by super trainer Autumn Calabrese.
So Beachbody asked me to create a program that would build your butt, but also shred out your abs at the same time. I was like, you can't do that in 21 days. I need at least 3 months. And even that is really going to push it a little bit. But if we are truly, truly obsessed about it and focused on it, you can get it done in 80 days. Fight for it, make it count, be obsessed with finishing it. I spent a year developing specific moves with the right workouts in just the right sequence, plus added in precise timed nutrition, and that is 80-Day Obsession.
80-Day Obsession is 80 brand new workouts in 80 days with a sequence of 6 types of workouts in a weekly rotation that will push you so hard you'll have to be obsessed. There's booty workouts focusing on the butt and strengthening the upper hamstring.
That booty takes work. I'm sorry, but it's just fantastic.
Plus, there's leg day, cardio core.
Welcome to cardio. You just have to keep trying your best.
Total body core, cardio flow, and AAA.
It is AAA, arms, abs, and
all while using the Beachbody loops and sliders for increased resistance and results.
The sliders, they're easy to use, but I really feel my core engaged whenever I do use them.
String pulls her up and lets her down.
The loops are good at isolating smaller muscles and your glute muscles because your core is holding you in, but there's no other muscle you can really use except your glutes.
Every time one of these routines is revisited, it's a little different to keep your body progressing over 80 days, and the results will come fast. These changes happened in only 30 days, and his changes happened in 30 days. And with a full 80 days, you can get the total body transformation that will knock your socks off.
Cool. So basically, guys, and there's a lot more that you can go ahead and just check that out on YouTube, but I did want to show you just a little bit of that because can you get the energy? Can you get the vibe there? I just think it's such a cool environment, I think, to be part of. So especially if you've ever, like, back to the gym thing, because I used to own a gym, the gym environment for me was very exciting. I did enjoy the gym because I did like the idea of having a kind of a group of people live with you. And this is about as close as it gets to that, with it still allowing it to be at home and allowing it to fit with everybody's schedules. Because sometimes it's just crazy to have to get all the way to a gym, do an hour workout, come home, shower, and all the trips back and forth. I mean, that's what I ran into all the time with the people I was working out with. So I'm really, really excited for that. Okay, so let's cover real quick about how we're going to run our group. Now, so I think it's really important for us to realize that we are going to ask for people to step up to a different level of accountability when it comes to our 80-day group, okay? And I'm just going to be real blunt with us on this because I need this just as much as everybody does, okay? Is that there's probably going to be a higher level of expectation in terms of you getting in and checking into the group with regards to your workouts and making sure that your Shakeology and things like that. So when it comes to check-ins, guys, it's going to be really important for us that we are being part of that group. And there's that added layer. It's going to be the food. Because a lot of people have established two things. They've established pretty well on doing their workouts and pretty well on doing Shakeology. It's that third little piece that's a little bit tough. Anybody willing to admit? Because I'm there too, right? We're all there. That's the hardest piece. But for 80 days, we are going to have to do things like probably say, this is when I'm meal planning. This is what I'm prepping. Not just like, yeah, I'm kind of doing it, the normal kind of thingy. It's like, this is what I'm actually going to be doing because I'm going to follow the meal plan to some degree, which I know for some of you that scares the living bejesus out of you because you're like, oh my gosh, so hey, I have to really plan some things a bit. Especially, guys, if you're like, if you're an empty nester, if you're single, or you're worried about prepping for people, like it's easier when you sometimes have to feel like you prep for more people. But honestly, sometimes it's not so easy because then you got a family to cook for, and that's a mess, right? So, or you are a family, you're trying to prep for your kids eating, but then your husband or your spouse or whatever, boyfriend, girlfriend, and then you're like, oh, now I got to make this healthy stuff. Like, wait, I got to make kale and quinoa? What? How did that, So I would just say, we're going to need to be accountable to each other and to offer suggestions. It's not about perfect, so don't let that scare you either, okay? But I do want everybody to realize that this group is going to be a little bit different than we've ever done in the past when it comes to this. The accountability factor is if you're not going to be part of the accountability, guys, we're probably going to say that there's maybe a different group for you. And this is going to be more of a sprinting-y kind of a group where we're really going to run after this for 80 days, okay? And then we may not finish with all the people that start with us. And that's okay because some people just life happens, but we just want to make this group really a special group where we're going to really dig hard for 80 days and live up to a pretty high standard, which sometimes we just need that. Because if you remember, man, I remember I had a business ethics teacher in college, and he was tough. He was so tough. And we had to write 25-page papers every week. And I was like, this is back before computers. Remember those little tiny typewriters with the little screens that you could type? That was about, I had a little typewriter that could do that. So literally I would type it all into that little screen, and then it would take literally probably 10 minutes to type out 25 pages because it was so long. But anyway, but he was so tough. But I learned the most I ever learned because he held me to a really high standard. And I want to do the same for all of us on this one, where we can get done, and as the Go team puts this group together, that we all can collectively say, yes, I did it. And I didn't and then it wasn't maybe perfect, that's fine, but I really gave my absolute best for 80 days to this thing and to each other. That's going to be the type of commitment that I'm looking for. And that's the kind of commitment that's going to really change people's lives, okay? So if you've been stuck and you're ready to try to get into something that's maybe a little tougher and maybe a little bit beyond your ability right now currently, yeah, this might be for you. And so I would just encourage you guys, here's the thing. If you've been invited to this or you're checking this out, if your coach is on here, or maybe they're not, and maybe you just kind of hopped on board and you want to check some things out, we are here to help you take some steps, okay? So follow up with your coach if they are not on here, if they are on here and they don't know it or whatever. Just make sure you guys connect on whatever your decision would be. We also are going to have, just so you know, a regular group that's going to be going on with people who maybe can't commit to the 80-day obsession. So we'll have regular groups still going on where you can do a 21-day fix, or if you want to do whatever other regular program. But for this particular group, That's going to be really, really important. Okay. Paper plates, carpet, little obsessed, just got wheel sliders. Yep. Carpet. Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, yeah, as it relates to sliders, yeah, the more you get your, yeah, the carpet ones work great. And so actually the Beachbody ones she mentioned it today in the leg workout, is that you can take off the thing. It's like a kind of a cloth thing you take off of it, and then it just becomes a regular, it's almost like a Frisbee. What it is. So you got this kind of Frisbee deal, and then you can cover it up if you're using it on vinyl. I would say this, guys, I've used it on, now I haven't tried the Beachbody ones. I had an old set. I did order the Beachbody ones. I haven't tried the Beachbody ones yet with the fuzziness on my foam. It's my foam floor that's like the puzzle piece floor. I haven't tried that out. I tried the smooth ones on it, and it was really hard. They didn't slide very well. So, and I'm anticipating it's probably going to be very similar, not so good with the others. So I'm probably just going to stick with the smooth. I'll take the things off, and I'm just going to back up. I've got part of my workout area has carpet, and that works the best for me so far. Anybody else suggestions on that? Yeah. You can take them off for carpet. Washcloths to start with. Good job. All right, guys. The last thing I wanted to mention real fast here is this. I'm going to share this one more time. About, I don't even share the screen on this. Things where, can you purchase the resistance bands and the loops and like all that separately? No, you can't. You can't purchase the individual parts and pieces. You can purchase it as a bundle. If you're a discount coach, I think it runs about $37, I think is the total for, you get the gliders, the band, the resistance, I guess they call them loops, resistance loops, and then you get an additional set of the portion control containers. I think that's $37. If you're a regular retail customer, I think it's about $49, I think is what it is where it's at for that. If you want to try it, you can do that. You can purchase the gliders themselves alone, and the resistance bands, you can purchase a different version of them from Beachbody. They aren't the exact same ones from the program, or you could potentially look to Amazon. The only thing I would say about the Amazon thing is exactly what Nancy said, is they aren't going to line up exactly with what she's doing on the thing, so you'll have to make some adjustments there. And it's the width of them, or some of them are smaller versus bigger loops. So that's good. Yeah, no worries about sick baby. Go Kelsey, all good. And then the last thing is the nutrition plan. When will it be available is the question, and how do you get it? So the program starts on the 15th of January. And by the way, those workouts are going to be available for the first week on the 14th. Okay? So all of the first week workouts are going to be available on the 14th. So you can stream them from there, especially if you're traveling or something like that. You can actually download them to like your iPad or your iPhone or something like that. That's always a feature within Beachbody On Demand, which I think is a great thing. So that first week will be there. But then the week prior to that, on the 8th, is when we will be releasing the full digital meal plan. And when we do this, guys, just so you know, we're going to do a full out, it is going to be different. Yes, Nancy, that is going to be a different deal. I think it hints at it, but I think it's just very specific as it relates to the 80-day. Because the amount of time you're working out, I think the calorie counts are going to be a little bit different. I would imagine. So anyway, so you're going to be able to calculate your calories. They'll tell you exactly kind of what to be eating and how that works out. But that's going to be released on the 8th, and it's only in digital format. Okay, so there's no printed on this, and there's no DVDs as well, guys. When it comes to this, if you are struggling with the internet connection, I have a friend, she's like her, she lives out in the boonies. I would imagine, Jen, this is probably a thing for you as well, but is to be able to download those onto a device and then to be able to watch them ahead of time, which I think is good. Okay. Sandy, you had a question real quick.
Is there an app for it, like the 21 Day Fix app?
Yep. A tracker app?
Yes.
No, there will not be a tracker app. Now, you still can use the 21 Day Tracker app, I believe, to track your containers. Same thing. So just you may have to adjust your counts a little bit when it comes to it. And the cool thing is if you see that when you do it, let's say if you do put your calorie count in, because you know when you do that, and then it'll kick out what your counts are. If you need to adjust that according to the 80-day obsession, you just literally hit the plus button or the minus button on a given container, and then that saves it for the entire length of the time you're doing the program. And then you're just going to have to do it multiple times, obviously, because it's 21 days versus 80 days. So, yeah, good deal. All right, guys. Any other questions? Very excited? Oh, man, it's going to be good. We're going to have a good time. So thank you, everybody. And again, contact your coach, and we will move on from here. And I will post this in the group as well. Invite people who want to come and join you. I love to see people, best friends, sisters, aunts, coming on board with us just to be able to make a difference in their lives. And guys, who knows, and I'm going to just say this real fast, who knows with your 30 seconds, not even that, 15 seconds of being a little uncomfortable to invite somebody to come do something with you, 15 seconds could potentially change their lives. Is it worth 15 seconds of just being a little bit uncomfortable? Come on. You know, and I'm not asking you to be salesy and not just go, oh, hey, come deal, the greatest deal ever. Right? Like, and guess for $19.95, you can get 2. No, we're not asking you to do anything like that. Just, hey, do this program starting on the 15th. You want to come join me? You can hear some more, and I'll send you this video, and you'll basically send a recording of this. So, sound good? If you can, again, no pressure, but we just love to have more people, more the merrier. All right. Thanks, guys, and love having all you guys on this call. It was really, really great. Okay. Peace out, everybody.
Dan.
Have a good one.
Thanks. Night.
See you.